If you can only do 4 exercises for the rest of your life, what would they be?
It would be squat, deadlift, horizontal press, like a bench press, and pull up. That way you hit all realms of fitness, I think, in one, and you do compound lifts. That's really important.
Let's start with the squat. Tell us why you chose the squat first.
Obviously, for leg strength and for overall functionality. Although deadlift, I think, is the most functional movement out of the 4 because you're always going to be picking something up for the rest of your life. But you'll also be sitting as well. So that's why the squat would be really important. The
squat and the deadlift. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to go deeper into the deadlift?
No, just that it's the most functional. I mean, you always are picking something up, right? So from the ground or from lower than you or whatever.
Okay. Very cool.
And then obviously for upper body, bench press, horizontal press, in case you fall down, you have to be able to push yourself back up. Mm-hmm. But I think pressing forward motion is more used than obviously overhead. Very rarely you're putting something overhead other than like a suitcase into, airplane overhead compartment.
Yeah.
It's kind of really the only time you press something overhead that I can think of at least right away.
Yeah. Okay.
And then a pull-up, obviously just being able to pull your own body weight should you ever have to pull yourself up onto something, or if you fall off of something, I don't know, but if you have to pull yourself up, that would be really important to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm going to agree with you. So the top 4 movements that I would do for the rest of my life would be squat, deadlift, bench press, and strict pull-up. Squat first because it's the king of all exercises, and just like how we mentioned earlier, how you're always going to be sitting down and standing up, so it's one of the most functional you can do. It also works the glutes, hamstrings, and quads, and also my posture. So I'm able to get the biggest bang for my buck with that. And deadlift, because I get to work my hamstrings a little bit more isolated with the deadlift, and it's the most functional because you are picking things up constantly. And then the bench press, because it works the chest, the triceps, the grip. It definitely will give me the most for that compound movement for my upper body pressing in general. So I'll get pretty much my entire upper body minus my lats with the bench press. Actually, you will get a little bit of lats with the bench press as well. Will. So, I mean, people don't realize that you also use your upper back and your lats for bench press as well. So that's why it's a great full upper body exercise. Mm-hmm. And then finally the strict pull-up, because it works the biceps, the grip, the lats, and the back more directly than just the bench press. Mm-hmm. And it's same thing. You got to be able to pull yourself out of something if you have to.
Yeah.
And plus, I think with those 4 exercises, I hit most of the muscle groups that I want to hit.
Would you say the front squat or the back squat?
I would say the back squat.
Why?
Because I think the front squat, it's not that I don't like the front squat. I like the back squat better because I think the front squat I use too much. For me personally, that I'm more quad dominant anyways. So it's more quad and abs and stabilization and even upper body because my back is my back is working, my lats are working, my grip is working. So I want more of a posterior chain development with the back squat.
I'd have to agree. I just think front squat is just a more complicated movement. It requires a lot more flexibility and agility and overall strength, like you said.
Yeah, the positioning, you're more upright in a front squat, whereas the back squat, you can kind of afford to have somewhat of a hinge forward, which allows you to do more weight. And when you're very upright in more of an Olympic squat position with the front squat, you are working more quads, core, than you are with the posterior chain, like the glutes and hamstrings and back.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Let's move on to the top 3 things you struggle with outside the gym.
Let's see. For me, I want to talk about, I guess, one thing with food that I struggle with is desserts. I love sweets. I do struggle with having kids now. It's way too easy to give in to cravings. If they say, "Mommy, I want ice cream," I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." Sounds
That's
great.
So true.
So definitely having a little bit restraint there is a challenge for myself. I guess with my fitness, I struggle with being consistent with my supplements. I do struggle with hitting it like daily. I'll do it for a few days in a row and then I'll completely forget for like a week. And so as we know, consistency matters. So it's definitely something I need to work on being better at, just making sure I'm getting everything every day in order to get the benefits, right? Or otherwise you're just kind of not getting the full spectrum of benefits that you can get by being consistent.
What supplements are you taking?
I try to take, fish oil, a daily vitamin. I'd like to start taking magnesium. I told myself I was going to do that, and I still haven't quite successfully done it, days in a row. And then that's pretty much it. That's all my supplements that I take, other than creatine, whey protein, collagen protein. I feel like those are just kind of like staples. Other than that, I guess those are the other things I take.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I guess with me personally, I am working on just staying more in control with my emotions and temper. I do struggle a little bit with just being, I guess, balanced, just because I'm in the gym a lot and I'm very social and, having to be around people a lot. I don't get a lot of time by myself, and I feel like that is super important as an adult to have balance between social state and then, one-on-one time just with yourself in general. And, running a business, being a mom, having friends, family, all this stuff, finding balance is really tough. So emotional outbursts are always happening, and I'm just trying to get better at that. And one way I do that is by making sure I work out. When I do notice a huge difference when I don't work out, that I'm a lot more irritated or just short-fused in general. So making sure I have that staple of getting in the gym and being able to have a little bit of time by myself or for myself is really helpful. So that's something I'm working on.
Oh, awesome. Are there any solutions that you're working on for both the consisting with the supplements and the desserts? That you could share that might be helpful for someone else?
I have no idea, honestly. I just try to track a little bit more. I think tracking is the number one system to make sure that you are doing what you intend to do, right? Whether it be tracking, for me personally, I try to set an alarm to make sure that I take the supplements that I really want to take. And then other than that, tracking your food in some type of app or writing it down. I actually don't track anymore. I used to do it for years, very daily and consistently and on point, but I don't really do that as much. I just kind of have a daily check-in at the end of the day, and I do this with you a little bit. I go through my day of what I ate, and I'm like, okay, it was this much protein, and really protein is what I focus on.
Yeah.
So I just kind of go through my day and check off how much protein I got, and I was like, okay, cool, 200 grams, nailed it. Like, that's kind of all I care about.
Yeah, and I think once you do log and you're used to logging and you do it for such a long amount of time, and then you kind of have an idea of or a baseline of what foods you like to eat and what you consistently eat. So after that, it's more of just you already have a pulse on that, and so when you do have a pulse on it, it's a little bit easier to kind of not like necessarily log it into MyFitnessPal constantly.
Yeah,
but it's nice that you kind of have like you can kind of almost eyeball it throughout the day, and that's something that just takes time.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, for years we tracked our food. We wrote it down in MyFitnessPal all the time, planned ahead. And again, I want to say it again. For years we did this. So don't think that you can just do it for a few months and then be like us and not have and just eyeball everything. Like you need to really establish some good baseline lifestyle habits that will never go away.
Yeah, and had you and I started logging earlier in our kind of our fitness journey, I think we would have established that a lot sooner.
Oh, absolutely.
We would have avoided a lot of mistakes. So logging is definitely very helpful. I know it's tedious, and I know it's annoying, and I know it's not fun, and I know it's easy to forget, but when you commit to doing it and you commit to doing it for a long enough time, and then you look back and then you're able to identify weak areas, strong areas, and you're also able to figure out what you like to eat, what you don't like to eat, and what exactly kind of have a ballpark of what those macronutrients are and what you can use. It does get easier. And I think a lot of people think that nutrition is always difficult, but it's all about getting, once you kind of have a rhythm and a pulse on what you're doing, you actually have more leeway with your diet.
For sure. And then constantly knowing that you're going to adapt. I mean, we talk about this all the time. I can't believe we used to think we ate healthy like 5 years ago. And
No, we ate terribly.
And looking back, no, but we thought we were like, oh no, we're eating like paleo, or we're eating, you know, we thought we were eating the right macros then.
Yeah.
And then looking back at and comparing it to how we eat now, I'm like, wow, it's so different. It's a lot less carbohydrates.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we don't even need carbohydrates that much, at least. We get it mostly from vegetables and fruit. And for the most part, I mean, I would say we almost, you know, toe the line of carnivore diet. We're definitely not carnivore diet. I can definitely tell you that. But I mean, most of our food is protein, and then fat, and then very little carbohydrates from natural sources, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say most of our carbs come from fruit.
Yeah.
And we do have bread here and there.
Yeah, for sure. But like just looking back at the evolution of our diet, like you have to be willing to change and adapt. And as your fitness level changes and as your lifestyle changes, you know, you have to be able to go with the flow too, and not think like, I'm not going to track anymore because, you know, it's too hard or things are changing. Like you have to just keep planning, keep attacking, and always keep working towards it or towards making it better.
I love it. All right. Oh, wait, is it my turn?
If you want to talk.
Should I talk? Is it my turn? Okay, I'll talk. All right. Top 3 things that I'm struggling with outside the gym. Number 1 is, this is kind of gym related, but it's transitioning out of still from being a competitive athlete to just maintaining fitness and doing it for my health and wellness. And this is definitely a mental thing that I'm working on right now, because I'm so programmed into training for something, or to be working out 3-4 hours a day, to be doing 2-a-days, and to be, you know, dialing in my lifts and, you know, lifting 5-6 times a week and doing CrossFit 3-4 times a week and then doing aerobic work on top of that. So just getting used to just being okay with, I don't have to have elite fitness anymore or high level fitness anymore. And one thing that's really helping is that working out with classes, because I still get that satisfaction of being able to throw down with the guys and have fun and you know, just have more fun with it. Mm-hmm. You know, I just tell myself, like, just go out, just have fun when you work out now. And it is way more fun now than it was when I was training, because it was all about winning and being better and constantly worrying about numbers and improving. Now it's just a matter of like, hey, I can have fun. I can just, it doesn't matter if I do well, it doesn't matter if I do bad. There's no good or bad anymore. It's just good that I'm working out and having fun and having a good time with my friends and my wife and kids. Number 2 is I'm working on what other struggle am I working on? Oh, I had a whole list. I should have written it down. I'm working on my negative self-talk. That's been a problem of mine for a very long time. And I just started working with a psychotherapist to start helping me. I like how they call it level up mental. It's not even mental health coaching. It's like just level up coaching is what they call it. Very good. And she specializes in working with CEOs, entrepreneurs. And so it's really helpful because she understands the whole business side of it, which is really what kind of gets me with my negative self-talk. So it's been really good for me because I've never had any kind of therapy before. And I think it's something that I definitely need. And I was putting off for a long time. And so I'm trying to spend a lot of time in reinvesting into myself to just make myself better, because I think we all know this deep down, but usually the biggest thing holding us back from anything is ourselves. And so I'm really working on that because I want to be, you know, contributing and not, you know, hindering my own self from contributing or benefiting other people. And then my third thing, oh man, I totally had it. I can't even remember. Can you prompt me?
I don't know.
Give me an
nutrition?
idea. Is it nutrition? I don't think it's nutrition. Maybe I just have 2. I'll probably
That's enough.
I probably will think about it later.
2 is enough.
2 is enough. But I think that wraps things up.
Awesome.
Let's get into our podcast.
All right.